Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book. Dr. Seuss. This book is to be read in bed. The news just came in from the country of Keck that a very small bug by the name of Van Vleck is yawning so wide you can look down his neck. This may not seem very important, I know, but it is, so I'm borrowing telling you so. A yawn is quite catchy. You see, like a cough. It just takes one yawn to start other yawns off. Now the news has just come that some friends of Van Vleck's are yawning so wide you can look down their necks. At this moment right now, under 7 more noses, great yawns are in blossom. They're blooming like roses. The yawn of that little one bug is spreading. According to the latest report, it is heading across the white fields through the sleepy night air, across the whole country toward every which way. People are gradually starting to say, I feel rather drowsy. I've had quite a day. Creatures are starting to think about rest. 2 biffer birds are now building their nests. They do it each night, and quite often I wonder, how do they do this big job without making a blunder? But that's their problem, not yours and not mine. The point is they're going to bed, and that's fine. Sleeping thoughts are spreading throughout the whole land. The time for night brushing of teeth is at hand. Up at the Hurker Hammer Falls, when a great river rushes and crashes down crags and great gurgling gushes, and the Hammer sisters are using their brushes. The first are just grand for toothbrushing beneath if you happen to be up that way with your teeth. The news just came in from the Castle of Krupp that the lights are out and the drawbridge is up. My drawbridge is drawn and it's going to stay drawn till the milkman delivers the milk about dawn. I'm going to bed now, so nobody better come round with a special delivery letter. The number of sleepers is steadily growing. That is where more and more people are going. And in Copper Springs, the Stoneworkers Hall, the Stonewalker stones are stacked on the wall. The Stonewalker walkers have called it a day. They're all tuckered out and they're snoozing away. This is very big news. It's important you know, and that's why I'm borrowing telling you so. Way out in the west, in the town of Merced, the Hang-a-Hong Honking Club just went to bed. Every horn has been quietly hung on a hook for the night in its own private Hang-a-Hong nook. All this long, happy day they've been honking about, and the Hang-a-Hong honkers have honked themselves out. But they'll wake up quite fresh in the morning, and then they'll start right in this Hang-a-Hong honking again. Everywhere, creatures are falling asleep. The collapsible Frank just collapsed in a heap. And by adding the Frank to the others before, I'm able to give you the Who's Asleep score. Right now, 40,404 creatures are happily, deeply in slumber. I think you'll agree that's a whooping fine number. Counting up sleepers? Just how do we do it? Really quite simple. There's nothing much to it. We find out how many, we learn the amount by an Audio-Telly-o-Tally-o Count. On a mountain, halfway between Reno and Rome, while a machine in Plegasdome, which listens and looks into everyone's home. And whenever it sees a new sleeper go flop, it jiggles and lets a new pickleball trap. Our trap counts these balls as they plump in the cup, and that's how we know who is down and who's up. Do you talk in your sleep? It's a wonderful sport, and I have some news of this sport to report. The world champion sleep talkers Joe Morenza has just got to sleep and they're talking their heads off. For 55 years now, each chattering brother has babbled and gabbled all night to the other. They talked about laws and they talked about gods. They talked about paws and they talked about flaws. And they've talked quite a lot about old Santa Claus. The reason I'm telling you this is because you should take up this sport. It's fine for the joints. Do you walk in your sleep? I just had a report of some interesting news of this popular sport. In your event, there's a sleepwalking group which not only walks, but it walks a la loop. Every night they go miles while they walk such a length they have to keep eating to keep up their strength. So every so often one puts down and stops hooping and does some quick snooping for soup. That's why they are known as the Hoop Soup Snoop Group. Sleepwalking too are the curious candles who sleepwalk on hills with assorted-sized candles. The candles walk highly nightly in slumbering peace in spite of slight burn from the hot dripping grease. The candles were candles because they walk far, and if they wake up, want to see where they are. Now the news has arrived from the Valley of Vale that a chip on your mop has just bit in his tail, which he does every night before shutting his eyes. Such nipping sounds silly, but really, it's wise. He has no alarm clock, so this is the way he makes sure that he'll wake at the right time of day. His tail so long he won't feel any pain till the nip makes the trip and gets out to his brain. In exactly 8 hours, the chip and the mop will last feel the bite and yell, ouch, and wake up. And Mr. and Mrs. J. Caramel Crocs has just gone to bed near the town of Fort Knox. Indeed, by the way, have the finest of clocks. I'm not at all sure that I quite understand how the thing works with that one extra hand. But I do know this clock does one very slick trick. It doesn't tick-tock, but it goes. But how it goes is talk-tick. So with ticks in its talker and talks in its ticker, it saves lots of time and the sleepers sleep quicker. What a fine night for sleeping. From all that I hear, it's the best night for sleeping in many a year. They're even asleep in this greenback motel, and people don't usually sleep there too well. The beds are like rocks, and everyone knows the sheets are too short. They won't cover your toes. So if actually people sleeping in there, it's a great night for sleeping. It must be the air. It's a great night for snores. I just had a report of some boys who are on top of this musical sport. The snortiest snores in all Fairland are Snorter McPhail and his Snore a Snort Band. This band can snore Dixie and Old Swanee River so loud it would make 40 elephants shiver. The loudest of all his boys is McPhail. He snores over the head in a 3-gallon pail. So they snore in a cave 20 miles off town. If he snored closer in, he would snore the town down. Do you know who's asleep out in Funa Laguna? 2 very nice Funa Laguna baboons. We've added them into our Who's Asleep count, which has grown into a really amazing amount. Exactly 8,808 creatures are sleeping now. Isn't that great? A jet is in bed, and the bed of a jet is the softest of beds in the world, is. He makes it from pom-poms he grows on his head, and he's sleeping right now in the softest of fluff, completely exhausted from growing the stuff. The news has come in from the dictionary of dogs that chew after sleep, they're sleeping aloft. And how are they able to sleep off the ground? I'll tell you. I weighed one last week and I found that off is so light he weighs -1 pound. Someone please pull at 8 a.m. This one too, please. Thanks. A moose is asleep. He is dreaming of moose dreams. A goose is asleep. He is dreaming of goose strings. That's well and good when a moose dreams of moose juice. And nothing goes wrong when a goose dreams of goose juice. But it isn't too good when a moose and a juice start dreaming they're drinking the other one's juice. Moose juice, not goose juice, is a juice for a moose. Goose juice, not moose juice, is a juice for a goose. And when a Moose gets a mouthful of juices of gooses. They always fall off their bed screaming screams. So, I'm warning you now, never drink in your dreams. Speaking of dreaming, I think you should know that the Bumbletop Club is now dreaming afloat. Every night they go dreaming down Bumbletop Creek. Except for one night, every third or fourth week, when they stop for repairs because their bumble tubs leak. But tonight they're afloat, full of dreams, full of bliss. And that's one bar I'm telling you this. At the fork of a road in Vale of Vallode, 5 wood fairy salesmen had laid down their load. All day they raced round in the heat at top speed and skillfully trying to sell scissors of seeds, which nobody wants because nobody needs. Tomorrow will come. They'll go back to their chore. They're still on the road. They're looping once more, but tonight they've forgotten their features whistle, and that's what the wonderful nighttime is for. Everywhere creatures have shut off their voices. They've all gone to bed, the bed of their choices. They're sleeping on bushes, they're sleeping in cranes, some on their stomachs and some on their fannies. They're peacefully sleeping in comfortable holes, some even are soft to barbershop pools. The number of sleepers is now past the millions. The number of sleepers is now in the billions. They're sleeping on steps and on strings and on floors, in mailboxes, ships, and the keyholes of doors. Every worm on a fishhook is safe for the night. Every fish in the sea is too sleepy to bite. Every whale in the ocean has turned off his spout. Every light between here and far Pluto is out. And now, adding things up, we're way beyond the billions. Our who's asleep score is now up in the zillions. 99 zillion, 90 trillion and 2 creatures are sleeping. So, how about you? When you put out your light, the number will be 99 zillion, 9 trillion and 3. Good night.